Today we're going to be talking about the incident report that was released regarding Joseph Ryan. Now this is Tylee Ryan's father, and this is another former husband of Lori Vallow. April 3rd, 2018, Joseph was 59 years old when he was discovered in his apartment after he had passed, and he was in advanced stages of decomposition at the point that he was found. So the way that he was discovered is Ryan's neighbor went to go walk the dog, and the dog was like kind of going crazy at Joseph's front door. And once the neighbor kind of approached there, he smelled the strong smell of decomposition, which obviously threw up a lot of red flags. The neighbor, of course, contacted proper authorities, and this is when Joseph Ryan was discovered. Now, interestingly enough, Lori Vallow was still listed as the next of kin for him. So she was contacted like 10 days later about this. And she said that she hadn't talked to him in like 2 years at that point. The medical examiner determined that Joseph Ryan's demise was from a cardiovascular disease. This disease hardens and narrows the blood vessels, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. So the medical examiner was basically like, look, this was natural causes. Another interesting tidbit is that Justin Lum, another reporter on this case we all love, he reached out to the FBI to be like, hey, look, are y'all investigating this in regards to Lori Vallow? Apparently another media outlet had reported this, basically saying like, oh, there might be a connection and yada, yada, yada. The FBI said, no, this is not accurate, and that we never deny or confirm anything like this, and they basically referred Justin back to the local authorities. Now, one aspect I want to touch on in this incident report and this news is Joseph Ryan's cousin's reaction to finding this out about him. Austin Murphy is his cousin, and she was like, look, he spent Thanksgiving week with us like just 4 months ago in Atlanta, and he seemed to be fine then. So this came as a total shock to her. Now, she admitted at first when she heard about this, she was like, oh my gosh, Joseph took himself out. And she was like, he's been under all this stress with the custody battle over Tylee. He spent tons of money on this. He hasn't been allowed to see her. And so it sounded like she was painting this picture like it really caused a lot of mental, financial, and I'm sure physical, stress, that type thing. Now, she was like, he was not the type person that would think about doing harm to himself. But she was like, at first I was like, you know what? This has been so traumatic. Maybe he did. During the custody battle, he accused Lori of alienating him from Tylee. And also she told a court-appointed psychologist, look, death would be an option before I would let him near Tylee. So again, I just think these patterns are interesting to see. There's always something going on with her former, husband's romantic interest, whatever you want to say. And there's always some kind of like pivotal game going on with her children. Now, another point of interest and another pattern is Alex Cox's involvement in this situation, in this relationship of Lori's. Alex was arrested in relation to a case with Joseph Ryan back in 2007. And this is where Alex Cox shocked him with a stun gun and threatened to end his life. This took place in Austin, Texas, and this was after Joseph Ryan and Lori met at a neutral meeting place to exchange Tylee. So the next year, Alex Cox did plead guilty to second-degree aggravated assault, and he spent like 3 months in jail over that. So this brings up a lot of questions with me about Alex. I mean, obviously, we're never going to get the answer from the horse's mouth, so to speak, because he's no longer here. But I'm very curious, what was Alex and Lori's relationship like when they were younger? He seems to have this bizarre devotion to her. I mean, clearly he did horrible things in the name of Lori, and we see that she easily was manipulating people around her to do things, making lies up about people. So my question, did Alex believe everything she said? Why was he going after every romantic partner, every husband she had? There was some instance where Alex felt the need to step in with physical violence. Another question, did Alex ever think that Lori might be the issue? Did he care? We don't know. We probably never will know. If you want to hear more of my commentary and thoughts on this case, just click the videos that are going to pop up. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining, and I'll talk to you soon.